What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this podversation. Listen, I wanted to talk about this story because the news came out yesterday. I actually saw it on TV at the time, and I don't even really watch live TV. But it was like breaking news that Lizzo was being sued by some former staff. And I want to get into this story because I've done a few conversations on her in the past. And definitely a lot of it had to do with what her thing with the body positivity and all this other stuff is just like a team too much sometimes, because if you've seen a lot of her content, you know what I'm talking about. The wanting to be looked at in a positive way for twerking and putting all of your body on display for everyone to see. Not everybody enjoys seeing it, and you can't make people like what they don't like. You can't say it's not fair because I'm not a size 2 or a size 4 that people aren't looking at me in a certain light, because I want to be able to do what they're doing too. Do what you want to do, but you have to be up for what people say about it and not just see it as, well, they hate me or they're hating on me or they're bullying me. Maybe some people may see what you're doing is you're putting things in their face that they don't care to see. I don't follow her, so it doesn't really matter to me, but even though I don't follow her, like a lot of other people don't, they see the things in these news headlines that comes out, and they don't really have a choice but to see it, even if it's just for a moment. But listen, guys, former dancers are accusing her of a hostile work environment as well as sexual harassment. So they're suing her. 3 former dancers for Lizzo have hit her with a lawsuit claiming that they were subjected to sexual harassment and hostile working conditions. In the lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court, the dancers alleged they were pressured to touch nude dancers at a club in Amsterdam, ridiculed for their weight, and forced to participate in excruciating re-audition processes. The performers worked with the artist from 2021 to 2023. Williams and Davis were previous contestants on Lizzo's reality TV competition show Watch Out for the Big Girls, in which they competed to join the singer's touring dance group. The filing obtained by the Times also posts Lizzo's production company, Big Touring Inc., and her dance captain, Shirlene Quigley, as defendants. The stunning nature of how Lizzo and her management team treated their performers seems to go against everything Lizzo stands for publicly, while privately she weight shames her dancers and demeans them in ways that are not only illegal, but absolutely demoralizing, the dancer's attorney said in a statement. In one instance, the suit accuses Lizzo of commenting on Davis's weight after a performance at South by Southwest. She alleged that Lizzo and Quigley told her she seemed less committed to the job due to her apparent weight gain. The interaction gave Davis the impression that she needed to explain her weight gain and disclose intimate personal details about her life in order to keep her job. In another allegation, the dancer said that Lizzo goaded the trio into attending a SEX show in Amsterdam and pushed them to engage with the performers. Lizzo began inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers and to interact with them in graphic ways. Lizzo then turned her attention to Miss Davis and began pressuring Miss Davis to touch the breasts of one of the nude women performing at the club. Quigley was accused of castigating Rodriguez as a non-believer and telling others on tour that it was her mission to get Rodriguez to embrace her faith. Rodriguez then asked Quigley not to impose her religious beliefs. The dance captain then, per the lawsuit, became enraged and told Rodriguez that no job and no one will stop me from talking about the Lord. It was also alleged that Quigley repeatedly made comments deriding people who engaged in premarital sex, knowing that some members of the dance cast did not share her views. After convincing herself that her dancers had been heavily drinking the night before shows, the lawsuit said Lizzo required them to re-audition for their spots, and if she was dissatisfied with their performance at the end of the day, the dancers would be fired and sent home. What followed was a 12-hour rehearsal in which dancers were granted very few breaks, according to the filing. One dancer who soiled herself due to the lack of breaks said she felt forced to continue rehearsing, fearing that if she left the stage at any point during the audition, she would be fired. According to Williams, she was the only dancer fired due to budget cuts, quote unquote. After receiving the news, Williams claimed she asked to speak with Lizzo about the decision but wasn't allowed to discuss the decision with the singer. Davis said she was fired by Lizzo after she was caught recording a group meeting with the artist, according to the lawsuit. Davis, who has a medical condition that makes her disoriented in stressful situations, alleged she had made a habit of recording meetings when afflicted by her condition and then deleting them after reviewing them. Rodriguez said she resigned on the spot after she saw the treatment of Davis. This resignation drew both Ms. Quigley's and Lizzo's ire. Ms. Quigley screamed at Ms. Rodriguez and Ms. Davis, calling them disrespectful. Then Lizzo aggressively approached Ms. Rodriguez, cracking her knuckles, balling her fists, and exclaiming, "You're lucky. You're so effing lucky." Ms. Rodriguez feared that Lizzo intended to hit her and would have done so if one of the other dancers had not intervened. In an allegation against Lizzo's touring production company, the defendant said the organization treated the Black members of the dance team differently than other members, including suggesting that Black dancers were being lazy, unprofessional, and having bad attitudes, while none of these same allegations were leveled against dancers who were not Black. The defendants are seeking an unspecified amount for damages to cover lost earnings, emotional distress, medical expenses, and legal fees. Listen, we can all think what we want, but I'm going to tell you my thoughts. When I initially heard the allegations and heard about the lawsuit yesterday afternoon, I couldn't say that I doubted it. I know some people love to immediately, I get it, innocent until proven guilty. This isn't a criminal case, it's a civil case as well. Even in civil, even in civil cases, you do have the right to be thought of as innocent unless you are proven to be responsible or at fault in the court of law. And also this could settle out of court, so it may not even get there. A lot of situations like this don't even make it to the courtroom. They will either be settled out of court and dropped, and there will be some settlement agreement where Lizzo and her team, whoever else is being sued, they won't admit or deny any guilt, and, they'll come to some terms of agreement, because ultimately with civil cases, it's about money. So you're working to get to some sort of civil, meaning monetary win. But when I heard this, and I know some people like to say, "Oh, I don't believe it. They're just out for a money grab. They're disgruntled. They were fired or they quit and now they want to retaliate." Things like that definitely can happen. But when I heard the allegations, and just based on things that I've seen about Lizzo over time, and I feel that even though she's been in the music industry for a little bit of time now, she's not a veteran. I feel that she's newer to this. And I believe, my personal opinion is, I think she was not viewing these people as employees. And there are labor laws. There are things that you just cannot flat out do when it comes to how you treat people that work for you or work with you. And I think that because of how sexually charged she can be with a lot of the things that she displays about her own body and her own self on social media, never been to one of her performances, but I heard she twerks and plays the flute at the same time. I guess that's a talent. But I would not doubt that the things that they're saying aren't true. I think I kind of believe some of it. And apparently some other people believe it too, because Beyonce has now dropped a shout out to her on her Break My Soul remix. So It's being said that Beyonce skips over Lizzo's name and Break My Soul remix amid the lawsuit. The lawsuit was dropped ahead of Beyonce's Renaissance World Tour stop at Gillette Stadium, and fans were quick to notice that B seemingly omitted Lizzo's name from the Break My Soul Queen's remix, instead saying Erykah Badu's name multiple times. So yeah, this is pretty big and it's getting people's attention. And since the lawsuit news broke, some of her other ex-employees, they've come forward, even though that they are not a part of the lawsuit. And that includes her former creative director, Quinn Wilson, and dancer Courtney Hollenquist. So Courtney said in an Instagram story, "For clarification, I'm not a part of the lawsuit, but this was very much my experience in my time there. Big shout out to the dancers who had the courage to bring this to light." And Quinn shared a screenshot of Courtney's statement to her own social media page and added, echoing what @CQuest said, "I haven't been a part of that world for around 3 years for a reason. I very much applaud the dancers' courage to bring this to light, and I grieve parts of my own experience. I'd appreciate space to understand my feelings." And now director Sophia Nolly Allison took to social media to share alleged details of her own experience with Lizzo after she was chosen to direct a documentary about the singer. And Sophia claims that the singer was so disrespectful that she ended up walking away from the project after just 2 weeks. Writing on her Instagram story, Sophia said, "I usually do not comment on anything pop culture related, but in 2019, I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary. I walked away after about 2 weeks. I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant, self-centered, and unkind she is. I was not protected and was thrown into a shitty situation with little support. My spirit said to run as fast as you effing can, and I'm so grateful I trusted my gut. I felt gaslit and was deeply hurt, but I've healed. Reading these reports made me realize how dangerous of a situation it was. This kind of abuse of power happens far too often." And of course, Lizzo has not publicly responded, but listen, it seems like these people already have people testifying on their behalf, and they haven't even hit a courtroom yet. It's just the lawsuit. So what do you guys think about this? My personal opinion is I don't think these people are lying. I don't think that they're doing this just trying to get a bag. Listen, it takes a lot of courage to come out and speak against someone that is seen as a fan favorite, that is seen as someone that's super positive and bubbly and body positivity and all that good stuff. I mean, there have been stories about how Lizzo has come out here and she's cried on social media talking about how people bully her and things like that. But that doesn't mean that someone that feels like they're getting bullied or they don't like the comments that the people are saying about them doesn't mean that they don't have a nasty spirit themselves. And I can see that about her. I can. So I don't think these people are doing this just trying to get a cash grab and it's lies, or they're just mad because they're no longer touring with her and they missed their spot and or they were fired or whatever. My personal opinion is I don't believe that they're lying about it. But I don't know. I wasn't there. But again, they already have people testifying on their behalf and they haven't been subpoenaed to come to a courthouse to get on a stand and testify about their experiences. So why would they lie about it? I don't think they're lying, but those are just my thoughts. You can let me know yours in the comments section. So thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.